Super Bowl 57 was a wildly entertaining game, but was it rigged? We'll go over this and much more on this episode of Famous News. I'm your host, Stephanie Trucco, and make sure to give us a follow wherever you're watching. Furious NFL fans are rage quitting the sport and claiming the Kansas City Chiefs victory was tainted following a controversial late call that came under the intense scrutiny made by the one ref in the league with more penalty calls over the last 2 seasons than anyone else. Even former player Antonio Brown is doing his best Kanye impression, saying that the game is rigged. On Sunday night, the Kansas City Chiefs engineered a 10-point comeback for the ages to claim the team's second championship since 2019. Normally, in these types of situations, we'd be heaping praise over the athletes who overcome all the odds, but a call from the refs late in the proceeding threw a real damper on things and led many to believe that the biggest game of the year is actually rigged. After calling a relatively controversy-free contest, Carl Sheffer's crew decided to shake things up a little bit during the fourth quarter, with just 1 minute and 54 seconds left on the clock. At the time, Mahomes and the Chiefs were facing a 3rd and 8 at the Eagles' 15-yard line, with the score deadlocked at 35. As the play developed, Mahomes looked for Juju Smith-Schuster, hoping to score a potentially game-winning touchdown. But his pass was overthrown and incomplete, and suddenly the Chiefs are facing a 4th down and having to put their defenses back up on the field. Or were they? Let's take a closer look at the play. As it turns out, the refs thought otherwise. Having seen a small tug on Juju's jersey from Eagles corner James Bradbury, they called a defensive holding penalty, effectively icing the game for the Chiefs by gifting them a new set of downs. That's when Mahomes and his team got to work and won the game with just 1 field goal. Following the conclusion of the Super Bowl, thousands took to social media to express their displeasure with the call and how it married the end of what could have been a classic Super Bowl. Many of these people seem adamant that Juju was never going to reach the ball in the first place and should never have been awarded the penalty as a result. You remember what I said about Antonio Brown? Yeah, this is what he said. He even went as far to quote Kanye on his hot take from a few seasons ago that the NFL was rigged to benefit its biggest stars. But those same people who are calling out the NFL might be surprised that the man who was charged with the penalty admitted to it being the right call. James Bradbury told reporters, "I pulled his jersey, they called it, I was hoping they would let it ride." And unfortunately for many Eagles fans across North America, that did not end up being the case. But don't worry guys, there's always next year, right? That is all for this episode of Famous News. Make sure to leave a comment down below letting us know who to feature next. I'm your host, Stephanie Trucco, and we'll see you in the next one.